All right, good evening, everybody. It is 5:30. It is Thursday, October the 7th. This is the pre-agenda meeting for the month of October for the Town of Spencer Board of Aldermen. And with that, I call the meeting to order. We have our board members here. Mr. Sam Morgan is unable to be with us tonight. My understanding is he will be back with us on Tuesday of next week. So with that, we will start with an invocation, and I'll give that this evening. Father, we thank you for our many, many blessings. We thank you for this wonderful gift that we call Spencer. We thank you for the opportunity to lead it. We ask that you be with us as we do so. We thank you for our staff. We thank you for our citizens. We thank you for the generosity of those in our community that are making great things happen. Lord, thank you for this board and those that sit around me. Give us wisdom, give us guidance, give us counsel. Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. The order of business tonight is to review our agenda for October the 12th. And so with that, is there a volunteer to give the invocation on Tuesday night?
I will.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Mm-hmm.
And then are there recognitions that the board would like to make that I need to be aware of for Tuesday? All right. Hearing none, if there happen to be any between now and then, just let me know. Peter, any recognitions on behalf of the town that we need to be aware of?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, and so with that then, we will move through our agenda items for next week. If there is anything on there that we want to add to the consent agenda, please let me know. The first of those being approval of the minutes for October 5th, September 9th, and September 14th. The October 5th minutes were the ones that were, we went back and reviewed and revised, that were not approved at the previous meeting. Stacy, anything on that we need to be aware of tonight?
No, it actually stayed the same.
Okay, because we went back, I know I looked at
Yes,
the
I
video
looked
as
at
well
it,
and
yeah.
confirmed that what was recorded was an accurate recollection of the discussion. Okay. And then September 9th and 14th, Ms. Sledge, I know you had an opportunity to review those. Thank you for doing that. Any other changes that need to be made to the minutes, or do you want to add that to the consent agenda?
I think it can go to consent.
Consent? Okay. All right, the next thing, we will have the folks from the Rowan EDC as well as Duke Energy and Withers and Ravenel that will be with us next week to give us an update on the Duke Energy Site Readiness Program and the work that they have done with potential site development options for the old North Carolina Finishing Company site. So we look forward to having them. The next item will be to consider setting a public hearing on a proposed ordinance to amend Chapter 70 and 71 of the Code of Ordinances to regulate utility vehicles. This goes back to the state statute change that was requested, and this is actually now this will be codifying that into our ordinances to allow the use of regulated utility vehicles on Spencer maintained roads. And so we'll have JD, so I know he's been working to put together the language for that. So he'll be here on Tuesday to provide us an update on that. And then we will need to set a date for a public hearing. Departmental reports, anything we need to be aware of there, Peter?
No, sir.
Okay. Town manager report, anything we need to be aware of there tonight?
Not tonight.
Okay, very good. The next item is a budget amendment ordinance. That's attachment 5. And this is to establish a grant project ordinance for the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 related to coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. Anything you want to add on that? Would this be considered to be eligible as a consent agenda item? Or do you want to provide an update on it?
I think it could be a good consent agenda item. This basically just sets up our accounting mechanism for the grant project fund. And right now, it's as simple as the full amount of the revenue and the full amount of the expenditure being a little over $1 million. As we go through the process of establishing how these funds will be used, this is what will be updated and amended to be more specific with how the funds will be used.
Okay, and we have announced the total amount of funds previously at several different meetings. So is this an item that the board would like to put on the consent agenda?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
very good. All right, we will also at the meeting receive an update on the Salisbury Avenue Corridor Grant program and also adopt a resolution establishing the Hometown Innovation Grant. So we will hold that for a regular agenda. We will consider receiving a status update on the Spencer Community Garden project. So that will be a regular agenda item that we'll keep. And then the next item is to consider setting a public hearing relative to a proposed annexation agreement with the city of Lexington. A quick overview on this. Lexington is interested in annexing a portion of about 450 acres.
About 700.
700, I'm sorry, I was half of that, in Davidson County. However, based on state statute, the town of Spencer corporate limits is, because of the property at the river, is actually closer to that property in Davidson County than the city of Lexington is. And so by state statute, Lexington has to come to us and basically get us to have an annexation agreement to allow them to basically say, we don't have an intent to annex in Davidson County, which I'm not sure that we would because it's across the river in a separate county. But it's basically kind of a formality in that respect, but we also have to schedule a public hearing because of that. So that's what that is. And Jay can give us a little more background on that when he is here next Tuesday.
It says the southern border of Davidson County. The southern border of Davidson County would be down toward the Denton area, would it not?
This is, well, southeastern or southwestern
It
border?
runs an area between the Yadkin River and I-85. So it's not the furthest to the south, but just by the river is south of.
So it's like the Linwood area.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna get information prior to setting the date for the public hearing?
So there is attachment 8 in there.
And
I mean, is that it?
I'm happy to expand at this point if you'd like.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But then also, I think you have a draft annexation agreement, is that correct?
So that is still pending.
Okay.
I talked with Jay earlier this afternoon. He met yesterday with the city attorney from Lexington, and he anticipates having this ready by Monday. And again, there's no action on the agreement itself this month. The idea would be to set the public hearing to consider it next month, but he does anticipate having the draft ready for review on Monday.
Okay. So that being the case, why don't we just hold then on the full update? That way
Right.
you can give the full update and Jay can give the legal update as well based on their discussions.
Yes.
And then we can take all of that into account about setting the public hearing to discuss it. And that way, if we have questions, we can ask those then. Is the board okay with that?
Sounds like a reach to me.
What's that now?
It sounds like a reach to me.
From an annexation standpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it's just us saying that we're not planning to reach and annex into Davidson County. That would be an even bigger reach, I think.
Well, yeah.
But yeah. All right.
Had a bad
So
annexation fight over this years back.
Maybe we stand a better chance of annexing.
next item is to consider approving group insurance renewal rates for 21-22, and that's attachment 9.
I had questions about that.
All right, then let's hold that for the regular agenda then. Does that work?
Yeah.
And one thing I'd like to mention is Snow Benefits would like to come and present this
Okay,
on Tuesday.
okay.
And so you may consider having this item sooner in the agenda because of them being here, but just want to make you aware that they would like to present that to you.
Well, why don't we do this, rather than moving that for the approval and everything, let's keep that approval there. But could we move to number 9? Could we move and get an update from snow benefits relative to that?
Certainly.
And that way, if we have questions, we can ask those then, hear the presentation, and then we'll take that. Unless the board would prefer to move all of it up.
No.
I think it messes up the flow, though, of the meeting. All right. So 9 will be snow benefits presentation.
Before we, maybe you could just answer one quick question for me on this, and then I may not have any other questions. On this first sheet, on the back side of the first sheet, where it's talking about Town of Spencer Group Health quote, December 1, 2021, lifetime maximum unlimited, deductible individual 10,000 and deductible family 10,000?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about that. That sounds like a scary number when you see it, right? It's actually a really nice feature of our insurance plan that we offer to our staff. The way this works is the way you see that is actually a true number, $10,000 individual or family deductible. But we have also an additional benefit that goes on top of that with a group that Snow works out for us called Innovative Employee Benefits. And that $10,000 deductible gets split up in the following way. The first $1,000, the town pays 100% through a card that's provided
Right.
to the insured.
Mhm.
The second $1,000 is paid 100% by the insured. And so then the last $8,000 is split 60-40. And so that makes an effective out-of-pocket max for the family at $2,600.
Which is really nice.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, when you look at deductibles at
Yeah.
$10,000 per individual, and yeah,
Makes my $7,000 high deductible look cheap.
okay, well, that's really the question I had.
Yes, this is a plan the town has been on for a number of years. It's considered a grandfathered plan
Right.
that we were able to maintain. And every year they shop it out. They compare it to the most comparable ACA compliant plans. And it's also every year a question of whether Blue Cross will continue to provide this. And so far, Blue each year has said yes, which is really good for our staff. But you can see on the following page that what they've identified as for an overall cost that $413,000 compared to the $215,000 for our
Right.
existing plan. That first one is the most similar ACA compliant plan that they've identified. And I will have you note that this, I believe, is about the third year in a row that we're seeing a decrease in our medical plan costs, and it's due to a variety of factors. We are developing a younger workforce here, which is helping. And we've generally had some good planned years, but there's about 7 different factors that they do every year to come up with these figures.
Well, some of it too is because you don't have the staff that you used to have either. But also my question is gonna be, comparing it not to Blue Cross, but the Blue Shield, also with the League of Municipalities, the insurance that they offer. I still wanna know about that. I'll always wanted to know why, don't we ever look at that direction as well, and what's the numbers on them?
My understanding is the town a few years ago, I think, compared a few different entities.
Yeah, that was,
For this
when was
line.
that, Sharon? The year before this board?
It was,
Came on?
it was 3 years ago, they did a comparison, and it was, the league did a little bit better, but there was some weird discrepancy that, at that time, Treem felt that this company here still played a little bit better for Spencer.
I,
It was never clear, but of my years of law enforcement, whether it's the county or East Spencer or anywhere else, the league has always done better by municipalities for different incidents, whether it's accidents or health or any of those different things, or better compensations.
and I would say that this plan that Spencer has had for some years is from what I could tell, about the best coverage and most reasonable cost for staff and for the town. Just comparing.
I'm not trying to question you, Peter. I'm just
Oh, sure.
saying that does exist out there, the League
Yes.
of Municipalities, that it was lower, and I don't understand why we never did go with that.
And so it may make sense at some point that that we get on some type of cycle
certainly.
of evaluating, shopping that out, whether it's every 4 years or something like that, to check rates.
I agree. I think that is something we will want to do from time to time. I think we're within a few years of that process with this renewal proposal, and so, but Snow Benefits does plan to come on Tuesday.
Okay, we will hear from them then. All right, so with that is it for the agenda for next week, unless there are other things that the board needs to add to that agenda.
Question about, are we looking at taking any action as far as the resolution that was presented last month that's concerned about the non-discrimination? Is Jay gonna work on policy or something about that?
He is supposed to. So let's get an update from him on Tuesday night about the status of that. I think that would be a good next assignment to have him once we get through the UTV updates and what's the other one that he's working on?
Oh,
There's another language that he's working on too, I think.
Yeah, Jay is staying very busy lately.
Yeah.
And I had somebody question me about the, what's going on down at the building that was the old exterminating place beside the fire department.
Hmm.
Do we have a real good feel for that?
I know that the code enforcement and Kyle, they've been talking with them. They've actually got to go through a rezoning to do something different.
Right?
I don't know right now they're out of compliance. So I'm not sure what they're doing to,
How
It
long
looks
has
like
that business been there now? You know?
oh, more than a few months. I mean,
Well, it's-
Well, it's just been real active
It's
in the
been-
last few
yes, yeah, but it's been 4 or 5 months.
And they've been,
they moved there after we talked about,
here's Kyle. Kyle,
about buying
we
the
can ask
property.
you, how long has that business been there?
So the auto repair business has been there, gosh, if I had to guess, 4 months, 5 months now. It's been there for some time. But they are planning to come to the planning board for a rezoning in November.
Okay.
And if that gets shot down, then of course they'll be out of compliance and they'll need to halt their operation.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. All right, anything else from the board?
I've got two little things from the schools. but
Yeah.
I don't know, I might just mention it at the end. I wanted to see if any of the staff or aldermen were interested in tutoring at the high school, because they need tutors.
Okay,
And I wanted to explain that process to them. And also the schools are on board for student of the quarter. We
great.
presented it at the school.
That's good. That's awesome. Okay. Why don't you make that announcement about the volunteers and all that? Do that during the,
At the end.
comments on
That's what I
Tuesday.
say, there
Yeah.
might even be some citizens that
Mhm.
will be
yeah, that would be great. Okay. Anything else from the board? Peter, anything else business-wise for the agenda?
Not for tonight. Thank
Okay,
you.
very
Oh,
good.
hang on. And maybe I can ask Tuesday, but I might as well ask it now. Is there a way you can give a status reference to the plaza openly to the public? Because I'm getting just pulverized now. They're seeing gray walls go up and glass on the outside. kind of thing.
As far as the project?
Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
because they're wanting to know
Why don't,
when
yeah,
is it?
why don't you
when
do
is
that
it-
as part of the town manager report?
yeah,
And just give an update on
Yeah.
construction and schedule and when it's gonna be in and everything like that.
Yeah, they're wanting to know when you think it's gonna be completed, really.
Mid-November. That's the like, supposedly the drop dead date, but we'll actually be able to get stuff in there supposedly before that.
So if he can say all that.
Yep, and the open
Tuesday.
house is December 3rd, is that right?
that's the current plan. Yep, as part of the Winterfest kickoff night.
So, okay, very good. So that is, there a need to see, well, there is, I have a need to go into executive session for personnel. We need to get the process laid out for, the manager's review. It's due this month. And so I've got all the material for that to go ahead and pass out, and we can set some dates. So if there is a, motion to go into closed session,
So move.
I would appreciate it. There's a motion by Ms. Hovis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Sledge. All in favor? All right, all opposed? All right, we are in closed session.